Can you really travel for next to nothing from credit card points? There's a lot of social media talk about how easy it is to take a champagne trip on a beer budget.
But by doing so, I was basically able to take my wife and I to Japan for free, get all of our hotels for free.
But is it really that easy? We dove in to find out for you, and our reporting shows while it is true, credit card churning is not for everyone. So let's talk about it. First, what is credit card churning? Churning is when a consumer repeatedly opens new credit cards to specifically take advantage of sign-up bonuses and rewards, but then you close the card to avoid the annual fees. Social media influencers make this hack seem simple. They flash dozens of credit cards and they boast about taking amazing trips, basically spending little to nothing out of pocket. We talked with Clint Henderson, managing editor of The Points Guy. Clint himself is a credit card churner, and while it seems simple enough, he does say it's not for everyone.
Churning is essentially opening as many as 4 or 5 credit cards at once and getting the minimum spend requirements done, earning the sign-up bonus, and then after a year or so, canceling those cards so you can open more cards. And some people are on this sort of endless loop of doing this. We call it credit card churning. But you have to go into this really carefully. And I think sometimes social media makes it sound really simple and easy, and it's definitely not. And it can be potentially hazardous to your credit health.
Just how popular is credit card churning? Here it is by the numbers. There is a subreddit about churning that has more than 600,000 members, and a Harris Poll survey in 2023 revealed 40% of Americans use credit card points and rewards to pay for their travel. And by 2032, Allied Market Research says the credit card points market will be worth $48.5 billion.
You only win if you take full advantage, not only of the benefits of the cards, but also if you're paying off the balance every month. So in other words, if you're carrying a balance and paying interest, that's gonna cancel out any rewards you might have gotten from the card. So if you're someone who is struggling to pay off your bill each month, this is not a game you want to play. The whole point of churning is that you can accumulate a ton of points and miles just by opening credit cards. You know what I mean? And as I mentioned, it doesn't hurt your credit score in the long term, and it can even help it. And there's tons of benefits out there.
Henderson is obviously a big fan. His wallet is full of credit cards, 27 in all. But he warns there are hazards if you get into the world of credit card churning.
Yeah, the first thing I would say is you have to have good credit. So you're not going to be approved for a bunch of credit cards if you have a bad credit score. Obviously, before you go down this road, make sure that you can hit the spend requirements, because if you open 5 credit card accounts in the same day and they all have $4,000 or $5,000 spend requirements, well, are you in a position to spend that much money on a credit card in the next several months? Most people are not.
If you are organized and can pay off your cards each month, you can rack up the benefits.
That's how I got into this game. I wanted to fly business class, and I couldn't figure out how to do it until I realized there's this whole world of points and miles. It really opened my mind. It became my career. I became so obsessed with it. And I've been able to fly, first class on Japan Airlines to Tokyo and had some amazing adventures just because I've been able to open a few credit cards. So it's definitely powerful. You just have to know what you're doing.
But there are pitfalls. 50%, half of all credit card holders carry a debt. And if you are one of them, this is not for you, because if you pay interest, that will cancel any savings you were going to get with the signing bonuses and reward points. If you're prone to overspending, this is also not for you. But if you can time getting a card for when you know you need to make a big purchase, that can help with the spending requirements a lot of those cards have. Experts tell us churning takes attention to detail. Many people who are successful keep a spreadsheet that can help them track spending, fees, and interest. Plus, you'll need to spend money to save it in the long run. If each card has a $5,000 spending requirement and you've opened up 5 cards, that really adds up quickly.
You really have to be a knowledgeable consumer if you're going to get into this hobby. You can't do this very casually because you're talking about your credit score, and that's an important part of your life. But one other thing I would say to folks out there is don't be afraid of credit cards, just know what you're doing. So As I mentioned, I have 27 credit cards. I have a spreadsheet. I track this stuff very carefully. But there are real benefits to using points and miles credit cards, and don't sleep on those benefits.
Keep in mind, every time you apply for a new card, your FICO score takes a hit.
You know, a bunch of credit card applications is going to flag your credit. So you will get hard inquiries on your credit report. That can lower your score slightly, temporarily. So if you're about to try to get a car loan or a housing loan, you don't want to open a bunch of credit cards. It's a really bad idea.
However, if you're careful to keep a low or no balance, your score should recover quickly. Also something to keep in mind, many credit card companies are starting to discourage churning, and they've started to put restrictions on rewards, which makes this game harder. Now, while churning is legal, credit card companies don't love it when customers cash in on the rewards and then dump the card before paying the annual fee.
Be careful at the end of this churn that you're trying to do, because first of all, you'll get hit with annual fees again. But if you all of a sudden close a bunch of accounts after only a year, then you become less desirable as a customer to the credit card companies going forward. So what we tell people is you should try to downgrade the cards instead of closing them to a no annual fee version.